All right, my friends, this is Donnie,
And Sandra.
and we are coming to you from Bladen County, North Carolina. This is the 56th county on our journey to stay in at least one night in all 100 counties in North Carolina. Currently, we are at Lou Mill Vineyards, which is in Elizabethtown. And guys, you definitely want to make sure you check out our videos on this place, the site review. We did a walkthrough. Check them out. There's some really interesting things about this. They have a really neat Christmas festival of lights that is really something else to see. And so they do have cabins out here, but check out that video and you'll learn all the ins and outs about that. And so now I was able to locate I guess you would call it an urban legend. It's definitely not a ghost story, but even though some folks have tried to put some paranormal into this, I actually found it on North Carolina Ghost, northcarolinaghost.com. You can check not only this story out, but others. Now, I did find out more information about this from other sources, and so, but you can just Google the Beast of Bladenboro, the Beast of Bladenboro, and you will see all types of stuff come up, even newspaper articles. This is a real deal. This is a real story that actually historically did happen. And so now this is the first time Sandra is learning about this. I briefly told her some stuff about it. Normally I don't, because I want her to have the same reaction as maybe some other people have that don't know this thing. But in many of the counties that we go into, really all the counties that we go into, I will try to hunt down an urban legend or a ghost story or some unusual paranormal type of story that is in the county, just something weird. And because what do you do when you go camping? You tell spooky stories around the campfire. And so that's the reason why I did this. And so, but we've got all types of things. Just look at our playlist of urban legends and ghost stories, and you will see some of the things that I've been able to drum up. But at any rate, this is how this story goes. Bladenboro is a small community surrounded by pine forest and swamps at the southeastern edge of North Carolina, Piedmont. It was also the setting for the greatest monster flap North Carolina has ever seen. I've never heard of anything
called... What is a monster flap?
Or anything called a flap. A flap. Anyway, that's what it says. So, the story begins in Bladen County in the town of Clarkton on December 29th, 1953. A local woman heard her neighbor's dogs barking and whimpering. When she went out to investigate, she saw a large cat-like creature skulk off into the darkness. That was the first sighting of the Beast of Bladenboro. 2 days later, the creature would strike. On New Year's Eve, Bladenboro Police Chief Roy Forrest was called out to the farm of Woody Storm. 2 of Storm's dogs had been killed by something large and powerful. The poor dogs' bodies had been completely drained of blood. More reports started coming in. D.G. Pate said he watched from his service station as a dog was attacked by a large creature and dragged into the woods. Chief Forrest was inundated with reports of dogs being attacked from across the county. People said they saw an animal like a bear or a panther that was 3 feet long, 20 inches high, with a long tail and a cat's face. Others reported hearing the creature scream coming from the swamps near the town, saying it sounded like a woman with a knife stuck in her back.
Well, that's pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty dramatic.
Well, that's pretty.
They must know.
Too.
How do they know what a woman sounds like with a knife stuck in her back? Any rate,
I've also never heard the word skulking.
On January 1st, the bodies of 2 more dogs were discovered. These 2 had been drained of blood. Chief Ferez decided it was time to call for help. A team of professional hunters was brought in from Wilmington to track down the animal. Chief Ferez accompanied the tracking party and said he saw footprints the size of a silver dollar, which is not really that big.
No.
It really isn't that big. Then on January 5th, the Beast of Bladenboro attacked a human. That even Mrs. C.E. Kinslaw heard the sound of whimpering dogs outside her house. She went outside to investigate. She saw a large cat-like creature rush towards her. Mrs. Kinslaw screamed and her husband rushed outside. The beast was frightened off and fled back into the woods. And so I do have an article about this. It's called Vampire Charges Woman. I'm just going to read it real quick. It says, a large marauding cat that has killed and sucked the blood out of at least 7 dogs charged a woman here tonight, but turned and fled back into a swamp when she screamed, and her husband rushed onto the scene. Police Chief Roy... Okay, now they said in the article that was Forez, F-O-R-E-S. The B was missing off of that, so it's Chief Roy Forbes. Chief Roy Forbes.
Oh.
Okay, said the animal charged into the yard of Mrs. C.E. Okay, they got Kinlaw here. In the article that I read said Kinslaw. But anyway, it's Kinlaw that they have. Who is right, who is wrong, who knows. When she went onto her front porch to investigate the whimpering dogs in the street. After the incident occurred, the armed posse that went out tonight to track down and kill the vampire, and that's in quotations, swelled to some 500 people and scores of dogs. Mrs. Kinlaw, who lives in the Mill village near Bladenboro Mills on Highway 211, 1 mile west of here, said she heard the dogs whimpering early tonight and went to investigate. Near the dog, she said, was what looked like a big mountain lion. So it was her that actually stated that it was the mountain lion. It looked like a big mountain lion. It raced from 3 doors down the dirt street in front of her house to a few feet from her porch, then turned back when she screamed, and her husband rushed out of the house. She said a neighbor also came to her aid. Chief Ferez, now they're saying Chief Ferez here. It's in the same article. They're saying Chief Ferez. So who knows what the word, if it's either Forbes or Ferez. But anyway, Chief Ferez said tracks in the dirt road in front of Kinlaw home were bigger than a silver dollar. So now he's saying it was bigger than a silver dollar. A search party from Wilmington, which tracked the animal last night as it moved in a 3-mile circle along the edges of swampy areas, found tracks with revealed claws. And so this actually goes on to another page, which I do not have. And so I'm just going to have to stop right there. But newspapers picked up the story, and soon Bladenboro was overwhelmed with the flurry of hunters coming in, eager to bag the beast. Over 600 men from as far away as Tennessee descended on the town. A fully armed pack of fraternity brothers from UNC Chapel Hill made its way down to the town to see about putting the beast head on their wall. Now let me go back to that one thing. I don't know if she said it was a vampire.
Or the newspaper picked it up.
Or the newspaper just kind of drummed it up to make it more. It sounds like a media trying to sensationalize it more than what it really is. But at any rate, but nobody knew exactly what they were hunting. Speculation began running rampant. Some thought that it was a Carolina panther, a species of large cat that had lived in the area until the earliest 20th century, but was now thought to be extinct. Others said they were dealing with a coyote or stray dog. Most of those who had descended on Bladen County thought that the only way to find out for sure what the beast would be by killing it. The town was terrified. Eve Butler, who was a young man in Bladenboro at the time, recalled nighttime was the most feared time around these parts. As the sun set, the entire community on the west side of the town went indoors and didn't come out unless necessary. The fear of the beast had a very real effect on Mr. Butler and his family. We didn't live in the town limits at the time, and almost everyone had an outdoor privy. To supplement the outside convenience, most houses had a thunder jug, a big jug that could be used at night and emptied into the privy during the day. That jug got plenty of use during the scare. So that you know what the thunder jug is. It's just basically a big pot to use a bathroom in.
Yeah, and the
so
privy is outhouse.
Yeah, privy is the outhouse. Okay. And so, any rate, deciding that things were getting too dangerous, Bladenboro Mayor Bob Fussell and Chief Ferez called an end to the hunt. On January 13th, taking an unusually large bobcat that had been trapped by a local farmer, the two men hung it up on a flagpole in the center of town. They posted a sign underneath stating, "This is the Beast of Bladenboro." After a week or so, things settled back to normal. The hunters left town and the reports of killings stopped coming in, amazingly. Whatever the Beast of Bladenboro was, it had vanished back into the night and the swamps from where it had first emerged. And so that is the story from NorthCarolinaGhost.com. That's the story. Now, I've got some extra notes on this. Now, it is believed, these are theories, what they believe this thing may have been. It was believed to be either a wildcat species, that's the popular view, wildcat species, a bear, coyote, bobcat, panther, mountain lion, wolf, wolverine. Oh, this is one that I thought was kind of funny. A wild police dog. A wild police dog. A German Shepherd and Hound mix named Big Boy that was given to a Native American boy who lived along the swamp. The dog had a long, bushy tail. Descriptions by eyewitnesses. This is the descriptions that people had given. And then, again, this is from various different sources that I saw. It's a sleek black and about 5 feet long, bushy and resembled a bear or panther. Some described it having a little one just like it running beside it, like it had a baby. Another report stated they heard a strange noise like a baby crying. Now, I have heard that a bobcat can sound like a baby crying. Now, that may give some credence to the bobcat thing. I can't remember where I heard that from, but I have heard that sometimes when you hear a baby crying in the woods, it may be a bobcat. It may be a bobcat. And so another person said they did not see the animal, but the way it was going through the bushes, they estimated it to be about 150 pounds. And so, anyway, one person said it had the face exactly like a cat and was 20 inches high and had a 14-inch tail. It was walking around stealthy and sneaky. A group of hunters described seeing tracks with inch-long claw marks and estimated the animal to be about 80 to 90 pounds. And the circling movement it made gave them the impression that it had offspring or a mate. One witness said they saw a mountain lion and it ran off when she screamed. The police chief said the tracks were bigger than a silver dollar. So I think the other one said it was about the size of the silver dollar. And so, again, this is from other sources, and so they're getting around about the same type of thing. And so, anyway, details of the attacks are gruesome, and they do. Some of the articles that I read, it's very gruesome. So I'm not going to go into some of the more gruesome aspects of it, but I'm just going to give you the very brief, what everybody could hear, because some of them get pretty bad. But the popular descriptions are that the victims are mostly dogs, and that the dogs are usually decapitated. The dogs are usually decapitated. The bodies were crushed, and a large amount of blood loss. They had a large amount of blood loss. One autopsy stated there wasn't more than 2 or 3 drops of blood in him. That was a quote. Saliva could still be seen on some of the dogs, as if the dogs were carried in the mouth of the attacker. Other animals found, if this thing was the size of what they stated, these dogs may have been small dogs. I can't recall just off the top of my head of the type of dogs that were attacked. It never really, I don't think it ever really gave a description of what type of dogs that it actually attacked. But anyway, it says, let's see, saliva. Other animals found attacked were a pet rabbit that was decapitated and a goat that the goat's head was flattened. So it took some force to do that. I'm going to tell you right now, it took some force to do that. And 5 medium-sized pigs and 3 chickens. As many as 800 to 1,000 people came out to hunt for the animal in one day. In one day, they had that many people come out. Mayor Woodrow Fussell, who called the Wilmington newspapers about the dead dogs, believed the creature was a hoax. He stated, "A little publicity never hurts a town." So he thinks the whole thing was just a bunch of nonsense. But something was killing those dogs and those animals. Boost the Borough, a community booster for Bladenboro, holds an annual Beast Fest, in which the Beast of Bladenboro, or Bob, they call it Bob, serves as a mascot. Boost the Borough makes use of the Beast's sensational history amongst locals to generate excitement for the community event. It was held October 25th and 26th of this year. We just missed it. And was a 2-day event. So if you guys want to check that out, I'd like to come to it sometime. Next time we're out in the area.
Stay here again at Loon Mill Vineyards.
Yeah. This would be a great place. And so, I would like to check that out next time it's in there. But you guys remember that Beast Fest. It looks like they have it around October, and so it just seems fitting for the time of year. And so, but what do I think it is? It's probably a panther. I'm gonna say it's either a panther or it could be a bobcat. Though bobcats, I don't know how big they get to be able to carry a dog. Of course, I don't. In any of these articles, I'm not sure they actually tell what size of dogs it was.
The goat story, I don't know if that's what killed the goat or not.
It could have been a bear for all they know. I mean,
I don't think it was a bear though. Like what they were seeing, it doesn't sound like a bear when they describe. None of the descriptions sound like a bear.
Well, when you crush a goat's head, when you flatten
powerful.
A goat's head, I mean, you're talking a skull. You're flattening.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a big cat.
And so, I mean, them things are pretty stout.
Yeah.
And so, but I don't know. Personally, me though, I think they probably had a panther on their hands, and or some type of wild cat like that. That's probably either it's a large bobcat or it was a bobcat, because they stated right after that the report stopped coming in, and so it very well could have been that bobcat. So
I wonder if any of those people are still live. Probably not.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. In this day and time, they could have gotten some of that saliva and did a DNA test on it.
Yeah.
And so they could have easily found out what it was. Yeah. And so, of course, that was back then. And so.
Well, and now everybody's got Ring doorbells and stuff, so you could have caught it on video.
Oh, yeah, you could have got it on video, going across people's yards and stuff. And so, but at any rate, it's a cool story. We hope you enjoyed it. Probably looking at a panther or a bobcat in this one story here. And so, at any rate, just a cool story still to share with you guys. We hope you guys enjoy it, and we hope you guys have a wonderful night. Y'all take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.